Hi, my name is Doc Livingston with Team Homeowners BC and eXp Realty. Welcome back to Coffee Talk with Doc. Today, my special guest is John Charbonneau. John is a mortgage specialist with the Mortgage Group. Welcome, John.
Thank you, Doc.
Nice to see you. So today we're going to mix it up a little bit, and rather than me asking all the questions, we're going to ask each other a couple of questions here. Now, these are items that we run into all of the time that can often cause us a little bit of grief. So, John, this is a really good question here. It says, how can I send my child to university without incurring any housing costs?
Oh, this is one of my favorite questions because it's really quite an advantage to people here in BC that have all this equity in their homes. And in other provinces, we have lower housing costs. So an example would be a client of mine 5 years ago had his son going to university in Ontario. And what he did is took a little bit of equity out of his home here in BC. He used that as a down payment to buy a rental property in Ontario where his son was going to university. The son moves in, the son rents out all the bedrooms and has all this extra income coming in, covers the mortgage payment, the property taxes, the insurance, and the utilities. Actually had some extra cash flow, so it even paid for the groceries for the son while he was going to university. And then 5 years later, when the son graduates from university, they sold off the property, and they also actually had a little bit of a capital gains when they sold the property. So that's one way using the equity in your current home can help pay for your son's housing costs when they go off to university.
So capital gains means profit.
Profit, yes, absolutely. I don't mind paying $1 million in income tax because it means I made a lot of money in profit and gross profit. Okay, my turn. I got a question for you. Doc, tell me what are the perils of you as a realtor taking a client out to show homes to that they have not been properly pre-approved?
Well, I think, first of all, let me preface this with saying that I won't.
Ah, good plan. I know the reason why, but you tell us why.
Yeah. So, one of the biggest disappointments buyers have is that they put an offer on a house that they can't afford. And, it creates a huge amount of disappointment. Every other house is compared to it, and, of course, nothing else ever does. So it's really important to have that pre-approval done and know exactly where you sit financially. As a real estate agent, my job now is to find houses that fit within that parameter. Because if you're approved for $350 and I'm showing you houses that are $400,
oh, not good. Not good at all.
I'm bad.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's really bad. I'm assuming that they're going to get a big discount, which of course probably isn't going to happen. So we wind up with very unhappy clients. So make sure that you get a proper pre-approval. Talk to your lender. Get it in writing. If it's a proper pre-approval and you've been qualified, you will get it in writing. It'll tell you how much you're good for, how long the pre-approval is in place for, and a guaranteed interest rate. If you do that, you're going to have something called peace of mind.
Absolutely.
John.
Okay.
Your turn.
Yeah.
We're going to go here to power of attorney.
Mm-hmm.
What's a disadvantage of not having a power of attorney?
Well, big disadvantage of not having a power of attorney, someone that you're involved with, whether it's a spouse or a parent, runs into difficulty, and they can no longer make decisions on their own, and you don't have the legal right to do it. So you've got to go through quite a legal process to be given the right to do that. One of the things that I recommend clients do, whether they're getting a power of attorney for their spouse or their parents, is register that on title. Very important that the power of attorney be registered on title. Had a recent situation where a client had their mortgage coming up for renewal, husband and wife, and they had mother-in-law on title, and we wanted to move the mortgage to another lender to get a better interest rate. Couldn't move the mortgage because the new lender didn't recognize the power of attorney. So this borrower ended up having to renew their mortgage with their current lender. They're going to pay about another $10,000 in interest over the next 5 years that they could have avoided for the sake of registering that power of attorney on title 5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, one of the things that I see realtors send me, and I know what I'm looking for, is a title search. So, Doc, as a realtor, whether you're representing the seller or the buyer, what are you looking for when you pull a title search?
Well, I'll be really brief here, John. But, the first thing I'm looking for is I'm looking for things like easements. Easements are especially important because there could have been an easement put in place which meant that there was a driveway across your property to the property in back of you. And they never come off the title. So you have to know about these things. You have to know whose easement it is and so on. There's lots of other things, legal Things are really important. There could be a lien on the property from some contractor that's out there that they'd forgotten about. A lot of times the sellers don't remember some of these things. So it's very important to be aware. And, if there's anything in there that causes you any kind of concern at all, be sure to have a lawyer review it, and just to make sure that so that you know exactly what's going on, and just so that I review with my attorney every title search that I get for my buyers, just to make sure they're safe.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better safe than sorry.
Good plan.
Well, thank you very much, John.
My pleasure.
I think we had some fun today.
Absolutely.
We answered some interesting questions.
Keep those questions coming in.
Keep them coming in. We like that. So here we are. Here's John and Doc signing off today from Coffee Talk with Doc, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.